Welcome back to Political Hot Seat. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. You can give us a call at 727-8750 if you would like to chime in tonight, or you can email me at deanna@kpvm.tv. We have Bill Dolan and Bill Garlow here. It's the Bill Show. But I do have a quick announcement I'm going to make. A caller called and asked us to make an announcement about the job fair tomorrow at Nye Communities Coalition. It begins at 9 a.m. and lasts till noon. Bring your resume. It's on the corner of West and Wilson Street. We are, of course, also telling some breaking news about the Supreme Court decision today. By a 7-0 vote, they've decided to dissolve the town board form of government for our town of Pahrump, making that the Nye County Commissioners would actually be the ones that are in charge of the town's finances and everything to do with the town, I guess, in the form of government, as of January, I think, of 2015. We're going to toss it over to Bill Dolan.
Well, anyway, back to what we were talking about before. You need to be a Nye County Commission. Even though you get elected by a district, you don't always have to think of just the district. You do have to cover, like, Tonopah or something like that, and to make a vote that was going to help them.
That is correct. There's, this county is just under 19,000 square miles. It's very large. And yes, even though you're elected in District 2, 3, 4, or 5, you're also responsible for those people that are up in Tonopah, Gabbs, Manhattan, Round Mountain. They're still your constituents. And when I drove through there, as I said before the break, coming back from the Nevada Rural Roundup, met with a lot of just wonderful people up there. And they wanted to voice their concerns. And the biggest concern was the canceling or the getting rid of the dispatchers in Tonopah and Beatty and closing the Beatty jail. I did see in today's paper that there has been a new plan put into place that will keep those areas open at least part-time. Don't know all the details other than what I read in the Pahrump Valley Times, but that's important to these folks up there. And it is. When you're talking people's lives, either through public safety with the Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department, EMS for an ambulance, the difference of minutes can mean the matter of life and death.
Oh yes, that's that's a big concern for everybody that lives out in that area. I have traveled through this county many a times, either protesting something or in favor of something. Mm-hmm. But the people up there don't want to be dominated. Okay, us to them is like us to Vegas. I mean,
yes.
They don't want to live our lifestyle. Some of them are ranchers, farmers, whatever. They live out there on their own and that. But yet they still want to know that people know they're there. And so it all can't be focused just on Pahrump.
Correct. You've got the mines up there. You've got the hayfields up there. I saw some beautiful ranches when I came through there. We saw a trucking company up there. There was it wasn't open, but it was operating. What smelled to be either like a propane type facility up there, creating or pulling propane. I mean, there was just so much out there. You'd go miles with nothing,
right.
And then all of a sudden you'd come out into an operation. And yeah, beautiful country up there, beautiful.
Right, well, very cold up there too.
And that white stuff falls. But
yes, I know.
Even though it's not my blood anymore to deal with that white stuff coming down, as a commissioner, if something happens or the meetings are held in Tonopah once a month, right. That is part of the job of a commissioner, and that is to go up there and talk to these people and hold meetings with them and hear their concerns, hear their gripes, hear their comments, their positives, everything. It comes with the job.
Right, and you just have to adapt to how you would feel as if you were there.
Correct.
And how to help the people there. I mean, it's just very difficult because I lived in Illinois, northern Illinois, and of course there was Chicago out there in the water, and then there was Illinois. And,
yes.
Cook County ran by the Daley family, and then you had the rest of Illinois. And so the person that lived in, let's say, Aledo, Illinois, didn't have the same views as the person that was living in Chicago or some part of Cook County. I mean, it was completely different, but yet they try to run, a lot of them try to run the whole thing as if it was one, and it's just not, and the people really get, upset.
Right.
Right.
And you have to, as an elected official, you have to put your feelings aside on any issues that comes up. And you have to follow, you take an oath to follow the policies and procedures of the county, the state constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and the NRSs of the state of Nevada. And it doesn't matter how for or against you are on an issue. I don't care if it's picking up leaves. You have to do what's in the best interest of all at one time. You can't do for one you're not willing to do for another.
Right. Well, you know, everybody has their own way. And, you know, it's just like I signed a petition about the ban on smoking in places and that. And I'd be smoking a cigarette while I signed it, and everybody say, I go, let the people vote. I believe what the people want,
Yes.
let them vote. I don't believe that I know better what my neighbor needs to live on than my neighbor knows what they need to live on.
Right.
So,
And I'll give you, for instance, the sales tax that just was initiated, it was voted on years ago, but the county commission at that time deemed it wasn't needed. So they didn't enact it, they just left it. This commission has now added a new tax this year on the sales tax to us, okay? My opponent says the people decided. Yes, how many years ago? It should have gone back before the voters, before it was put back on. Right. If they want to follow that route, years ago, the residents, I think you probably remember this, you've been here long enough, the residents voted to pay the town board. But the town board at the time said, nah, we really don't want it.
right.
So because the people voted on it, should we enact that and start paying the town board? I don't think so. I think that's something that would have to come back before the voters.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, if you're going to vote on it, wait 20 years, you know.
Exactly, exactly.
The things change as time goes on,
Yes.
you know, but I'm a very strict person to where if the people vote tomorrow on something, that's it. I don't, you know, even if I agree or don't agree on it, that's what the majority of the people want. And like I said, I don't want anybody going around telling me how I got to live because they think that's best for me. I know I might not really know, but I think I know what's best for me, so leave me alone. That's the type
Right,
of,
and
know.
it's the same thing with the vote on the dissolution of the town. The last town board handled that issue. They started the appeal process. Once you're in that process, now you've got people on both sides. One side saying, no, don't fight it, we voted, and the other side saying, yes, fight it because we don't agree with it. You know, it puts the five around the table in a hard place.
Right.
Because you've got people on both sides saying, fight it, don't fight it. So it's, yeah, so now we have our decision from the Supreme Court.
Pretty much decided now.
We'll move forward.
Right.
Exactly.
So, do you have anything over there you wish to ask
I have
you
lots
before we
of
leave?
things. Let me see. So we're reminding everybody once again that the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the dissolution of the town board form of government by a 7-0 vote today. We are going to ask, well, we're going to do our little sign off and talk, Bill, about contact information, but let's leave everybody with this. If you're elected as Nye County Commissioner in District 5, what's some of the things that you would like to focus on? And you got 2 minutes.
No pressure, right, Deanna? You know, the first thing, and I've been very vocal about this, is the budget. We have to get this county budget under control. We cannot, year after year, go into crisis mode because too much money has been spent or we didn't predict enough revenue coming in. These are all things that we have to get under control, and we have to get them under control very quickly. Our roads throughout the county, but primarily here in Pahrump, are atrocious. And we need to deal with this, and we need to we have our water issues. You know, the water board's doing a great job. This Basin 162 is doing an excellent job. You know, we just need to go with it. One thing I have always stood for, and that is well and septic owners. And no matter what happens, we need to leave the wells and septics alone, period. And I hear this from people who are not on wells and septics, who live in Artesia or Mountain Falls. And they say, you know, well, that doesn't bother us, but we know people who do have wells and septics and they shouldn't be touched. So
All right, well, that's it for tonight, and I want to thank you very much, and good luck
you
on
for
your
having me, sir.
campaign. And we will see you next Thursday evening. Have a good weekend.